Hi guys, I'm here with my first hour class. I'm not doing well today, not feeling well. I have the worst sinus headache, so I'm going to be recording the lesson and so that you aren't missing out on anything. So today we're going to be talking about rationing, and I was very lucky enough to meet somebody by the name of Anna Campbell. I have her rationing book here. Does anybody here know what rationing is? What they did for rationing during World War II? Does anybody know what that means?
Maybe like they didn't eat something for a while.
Okay, you would go without eating something.
Maybe like you wouldn't eat for a certain while, but like you had like a ticket or something to get food.
Yes, you did have a ticket. Does anybody know anything else about that? So, today you go to the grocery store, you just go in, you pick out what you want, put it in your cart, and you pay for it. Well, back then, you couldn't do that because there were a lot of foods that were short in supply. So what each family would get this thing called a rationing book, and it would be based on the size of your family. And inside the book were tickets. Here we go. That look like this. And on them were numbers. And so it'd be like, so if you look on here, it has a number for coffee, a number for a spare ticket. And then there were just like different letters and things like that. So when you would go to the store back then, you would have to you had to pay for it, but you also had to have the ticket to go with it. If you didn't have the ticket, you couldn't get it. And so what some families would do, like, maybe your family didn't like peanut butter and another family did or whatever, they would trade tickets so that you could have more or less. And I'm going to pass this around. It's very, very old, okay? And it's actually starting to kind of fall apart. When she gave it to me, it was all together, and now it's really falling apart. So I'm going to pass this around so you can take a look at it from Anna Campbell. Also, back then, they had these things, and this is more rare. It's hard to see, but they're little red coins. And on the little red coins, it just says OPA red point. And these were also used for rationing. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this around. Oh, there's also a Canadian penny in here.
Oh,
I just heard that they stopped making these, so please don't
I
take
have a
that.
Canadian
Okay, it's
penny.
rare. This whole thing. Yes, so this whole thing, just please be very careful when you're looking at it. So Anna Campbell had 6 children, okay? And back then, if you had a lot of kids, kids would, just like today, you would fight over like who gets what. And so her kids really liked bananas, but they would get upset because there weren't a lot because we had to do the rationing. And so she actually found a way to grow bananas that were pre-sliced, meaning when you open it up, it was already cut. And so like her oldest kid would get the first piece, her second kid would get the next piece, her third kid would get the third piece, and all of that. So she actually explained to me how to do this. And so I have one of those bananas with me today. That's this banana right here. So I just want to explain a little bit more, and then we'll talk more about what this is about, okay? So as I said, they had to do with a lot of, they had to ration a lot of things. So some of the things that were rationed, well, one of the things was bananas, okay, obviously. Chocolate, anything scarce, sugar, meat, butter, eggs, milk, tea, clothes, fuel, oil, rubber, typewriters, cooking oil, and many other things. This was because Nazis when the ships were coming over with all these supplies, they were sinking the ships, so we weren't getting enough things here. Nylon, you know how women would wear nylons? They weren't allowed to wear nylons back then because that would be considered unpatriotic because that nylon material was needed to make parachutes for men that were, in planes. So women would draw a line on the back of their legs to make it look like they had nylons on, but they didn't actually wear nylons. Another big thing that was rationed was fuel. And you could only it was just like with the stamps for the food, you could only get fuel if you had like the amount that you had on your sticker. So like here's an example of what a sticker would look like on your car. And so a B sticker was for somebody that was considered essential for the work effort. And industrial workers, for example, would get 8 gallons a week. Red C stickers indicated like a doctor, a minister, a mail carrier, and they would get more. And then a T was for truckers, and then if you got the rare X sticker, then you were considered a member of Congress or a VIP, and you would get unlimited amounts. So truckers supplying the population with supplies that had a T sticker also got unlimited amounts. So it really depended on what your position was and what your job was, how much fuel that you would get. So it wasn't like you'd say to your mom or dad, like, let's go down to the store, or let's go here, because you didn't have that much gas. I mean, do you know how much gas we use today? Like in a week? I mean, they're saying 8 gallons for a week. Okay, so you were walking a lot of places or riding a bike. You were not driving. It would just basically be, it would have to be essential, life-threatening. Like you'd go for your job, you'd go for food. You weren't like gonna go drive around for fun, okay? So what a lot of people did, they grew victory gardens. And a victory garden was just a way for them to have their own food in their backyard. And that's why Anna Campbell, she would grow bananas. People would grow carrots, whatever foods their family would eat, they would grow them. And I think, did we talk about this in here the other day with the propaganda posters in this class, or no? Maybe I talked about it with the other classes. But one of the propaganda posters said, can all you can. Do you remember that one? And it was in the back there. Well, that one, what it meant was have a victory garden, and then can all that food when it comes out. Because what happens when you have a garden, all the food gets ripe at the same time. And there's no way that you can eat all that food at once, and it'll go bad. So a lot of people, if you know anybody with gardens, they'll give a lot of stuff away. Well, if you can it, you preserve it, it'll last for months, even years if you do it the proper way. So people would can a lot of the food, and then they wouldn't have to worry about having a ticket to go buy something from the store. So that was something that Anna did. She grew the bananas, and like I said, she grew them pre-sliced. All right, so if you are watching this because I'm not here today, can you please, or if I am here, can you please pause the video at this point, and I will explain what's coming up next. All right, I'm just going to show the rest of you though. So I'm sure you want to see this banana, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the banana. Okay, it's just a banana. Do you see anything strange about this banana that makes it magical? It does have brown spots. It's very ripe. That's what makes it very ripe. Does anybody believe that this is pre-sliced?
I do.
How do you think that? How do you think it would get pre-sliced? What do you think her secret was? Do you want me to open it so that you can see it?
Yeah.
Open the banana.
Okay, so you can see that I have not opened this yet, right? Okay, so we're gonna. I should do it like in front
I
of
feel
here.
like
Sorry.
I see like a line in the front area.
All right, so do you see that?
Oh.
All right, so how on earth did that happen? Calvin? So you see?
Like maybe you can like crack it like a little bit like that.
Crack it a little bit? I don't know. Have you ever tried to crack a banana a little bit? You get mashed banana, right? You do. What do you think? Oh, use a toothpick so it wasn't like grown that way? All right, what else? Anybody else?
Maybe like when it's growing, they put like a shape around the banana so that when it grows, it's in that.
Oh, like maybe like little rubber bands or something? Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting thing to think about. What do you think, Zach?
Maybe like when they plant it, you don't plant like the whole thing.
It's okay. All right. So you guys do know that bananas grow on trees, right?
Yes.
And you know that this climate that we live in right here isn't really ideal for bananas, right? So you do know that right now it's not nice outside, and I'm not growing bananas in my house. So I lied to you. I'm sorry. Okay, she did not teach me her little secret. I know. Remember in the beginning of the year I told you there was going to be one more lesson later on in the year that I would lie? And this is horrible because I have to record myself lying to you too. So not only am I lying, but it's like proven on tape here. All right, but it's all in the name of education. Because obviously, did you learn a lot about rationing? What did we learn about rationing? What kinds of things did they ration, Calvin?
Food.
What kind of food?
Uh,
Name one thing.
Bananas.
Okay, bananas were one thing that was rationed. What's something else?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Coffee.
Yes. Coffee.
Sugar.
Sugar.
Nylon.
Nylon. What else did you learn? What was something that they had to do for gas?
They had to get a certain sticker to get a certain amount.
Certain sticker on the car.
The sticker that you got depends on your job.
Yes. What did people do in order to make up for this rationing? What did they have in their backyards? A victory garden. And what did they have to have when they went to the store? The rationing tickets. Look at all that. Now, would you have listened if I said that I didn't have a magic banana? Probably not. You probably wouldn't have had all that information. You see, I kind of tricked you.
How do you get the lines?
All right, so I know you want to know how to do this, right? So that you can trick somebody at your house. Yes? Okay, so I'm going to get a new banana. I know. I just wasted it. All right. So Malak was the closest. And basically, first of all, you want to get a super ripe banana. So it needs to have a lot of brown spots on it, okay? So if you're going to trick somebody in your house, I would recommend using a toothpick. Now, I'm in a school, so we're using a paper clip. So you just find like one of those really dark ones, like this is a really dark one right here. You stick it in, but not all the way through. And just kind of go around to make it so that, you know, gets the line. And you just keep going down. And you just kind of go around so that it's not going all the way through. I had a student last year that tricked one of her parents doing this, like with breakfast or something. They're like, I learned something. And then they like opened up the banana. And like, that's crazy. Okay, so then you go like this. Now, you probably noticed, or maybe you didn't, I don't know, that when I took it out, I had a napkin, or it was actually a Kleenex. So I have the Kleenex on there. Because you made holes, it's going to leak out just a little bit. So when I pulled it out, kind of like a magician, I like wiped it off. But you didn't know the reason why I was wiping it off, you know, like only I knew that. So like I wiped it off. I'm like, ooh, look at it. And then I like held onto it again. Like each time I touched it, I would like be wiping it off. So just so that you know, if you do have this, you're going to have to wipe it off because otherwise you'll see like little pieces of banana like ooze out of there and you don't want that. All right? All right, so now I am going to be leaving today, but I'm going to be doing this next hour, so I need you to raise your right hand and promise. I swear that I will hold the social studies silence until 8th hour today so that Mrs. DeVries can punk the rest of her classes today. Without even being here. It's crazy. All right, thank you. Okay. All right, so what you're going to be doing, today on Google Classroom, I posted a document that looks like this. And it's going to talk more about life on the home front. And you're going to be scrolling through this document. Now, on here it has specific questions. And I just typed those up and put them on a separate sheet of paper so that you're going to just do it all on here. But I scanned this all in on the computer. Okay, so you're going to be taking a look at that. When you're done with that, we're going to be doing, you're going to choose some propaganda. And you're going to be making your own Victory Garden plant stick. So you're going to be writing, on one side you're going to have a picture, and it could be one that you've created, or it could be based off of one that's already made, of propaganda from World War II. And it's trying to get people to either build victory gardens or helping out. Like here, this one. your own vegetables all the year round if you dig for your Victory garden now. And then on the back, you're just going to list facts about Victory gardens and rationing and what people did on the home front to help out with World War II. So we're going to be working on this for the next 2 days. Okay, so here's another one. Don't be a sucker. Keep your mouth shut. Ooh, look at that one. That one's a really good one. Yeah, that one's really good. All right. Thanks, Luke, for that. Got that on video, too. Great. All right. All right, so does anybody have any questions? All right, I'm turning this off.